Okay, so this is the feedback for evaluation question 1. So looking through, we've got some definitions of conventions here. You've talked about subgenre a little bit. A couple of things that you could bring in just looking at the exemplar that might be useful is you could talk about audience expectations. So one of the theories that we looked at suggested that it's about satisfying audience expectations so they know if they like the genre. The other thing was, as a producer, it allows you to make decisions and helps you target an audience. So you might want to talk about that as well. But generally that's quite good. There's a bit more, there's quite a bit in there. I'd probably encourage you to add a bit more. Also you could bring in some of the theory from question 1A, so you can mention like Burton here. Okay, going through, you can see you've labelled them up, which is really good. Okay, that's good. Yep. So we've talked about equilibrium and disruption. Yep. Okay, so this is your one here. This is equilibrium here, because you don't have any, of course, that makes sense. And then you don't have resolution, so that's good. Yep, that works. Second one, we've got camera techniques. I think we need a bit more here, just in terms of some of the other techniques you've used, particularly shot types. So that kind of works. I think there just needs to be a little bit more to it than just those two things in that small paragraph. Again, if you look at where these guys have talked about their sections, there's quite a lot of sort of text in these sections here. Look, so we just need a little bit more kind of discussion of what's going on there. If you're talking about the lack of equilibrium here, then you need to kind of talk about, well, what did you use at the end of yours? How did you finish it, and why? So I think, again, it's not so much talking about what there isn't there. I think it's talking about why what you have doesn't fit into that, and still give examples of it. So when we come to things like camera shots, again, if you have a look through this one, you can see we've got quite a few dramatic camera angles, and we've got a lot of writing here as well, like a good deal of analysis, which is what we're looking at for the A grade. So I think a bit of a concern here in that we've only got a tiny bit, so this needs a lot more added to it. And then if we go to subgenre, okay, so again, think about that's good. So you have thought about your presentation. That's nice. Yep. Yep, good. So here you might want to talk about, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, good. Okay, yep. Sound, this is nice. We've got quite a bit there. Good, and it's nice and specific as well. It's good. Yep, and you've used it and you've put them in colour as well. Yep, very good. Well done. Editing, so we talked about that section. This is all quite nice stuff, yeah. Good. We've got the montage. So what I'd have here is a bit of a cop-out putting the whole trailer in, and again a bit of a cop-out putting the whole trailer in. What I'd expect for the higher grades now is that you're kind of like cutting out the individual sounds and the individual pieces just for me to see just the montage section. Obviously the opening you use cross dissolves and stuff like that. So I'd need to see that stuff. So we need more examples here broken down for me to see it a bit easier. Colour correction, again, I need more than just one image of it to be able to see that. You know, and again, what Real Media Ticks have actually influenced it rather than just like a Google image showing the difference between them. Setting, we still need to have a few more images on here, particularly side by side, but we have got something written about each section at least. Oh, here we go. So, yeah. Okay. So again, with the length, I'd expect you to be writing about why it's that length, and expecting you to explain why it needs to be a shorter time for a teaser trailer, particularly, not a full-length trailer. And why that's a convention. You also would probably want to be breaking down the structure of it as well, so where you put the title of your film, where you put your montage, where you put your jump scare and stuff, so not just the length but also the kind of structure of it. Again, if you look at the group that talked about length on here, you know, they've talked about all the font stuff on here as well, look, not just the actual duration of it. You know, the fact that you put the production company at the start and it's there. So I think you need to kind of expand upon that a little bit if you want the higher grades. Okay, characters. We've got building blocks. Good. Yep. And you got it in your trailer. That's good. I haven't seen that in the other groups. Do that. That's really good. Well done. Need to finish costume off, or is that? Looks like there's something there, but I can't really see it. You need to have a look at that because Canva's not working. I'm not signing up. So okay. I can see you've got something there, just probably need to look at whether that actually works in practice or not. Okay, characters. So again, I need to have sort of side by side here if we're going to be doing this, because that's lovely, but yeah, again, edit that down rather than making me watch the whole thing and going, alright, I'll have to click on 48 seconds now. Make it easy for me to see that. Yeah, you could also talk about what makes them iconic here and what makes yours iconic. Okay, this is all nice. Yep, so we've got that. Captions. Okay, be careful, don't call them captions because they're not captions, they're title slates. So be careful here, make sure it's called the correct term. And then we just need to finish the conclusion off. Okay, I mean, it's a good piece of work. Everyone seems to have pulled their weight, which is good. Probably looking at around the sort of C+ at the minute. So I think you need more structured examples and a bit more text, just a little bit more depth, explaining why these things are conventions, you know, and what their function is. Particularly, you could bring some theory in here if you wanted to, but I think particularly in terms of the genre conventions, you can go just a little bit further with it, talk about the meaning they produce. But overall, yeah, it's a pretty sort of pretty confident C. If we can get that conclusion finished off, I'll be happy putting a C on it. Thanks a lot.